Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. There is no God but Almighty Allah. I am very thankful to all of the audience, especially Mr. Dr. Julian, Himanshu Joshi sahab, and Khushnuma Wasi, Ms. Garwal, Marius, all of the very distinguished speakers, and I learned a lot from you people. This is a little bit topic about the investing herding behavior in BRICS equity market by using a harmonized method to see whether the herding exists or not. Before going towards the presentation, I have a very limited time, so I shall be going ahead. Yeah, so I would like to pay thanks to distinguished and honorable our scientific committee of this conference, ICMEF, and afterward I am very thankful to my university who funded me to be here. Special thanks goes to the Talib Syed Karim, the president of my university, Institute of Business Management, afterward the advisor to the president, Sabina Mohsin, then rector, Tariq Sumro, and then special and very special thanks goes to the dean of my university, Professor Dr. Muhammad Kashif, and associate dean Dr. Sara Wali Qazi, and my one of the best friend, Dr. Muhammad Gyan, who has done the arrangement to come here. So these are the people who are behind me to stand here, who funded me, who supported me, and the great audience who are listening to me right now. Putting in a nutshell, what is research all about? It's all about that how we are going to see the herding. Herding behavior means that in the equity market, when the investor start doing the copy to other investor. Let's suppose, for example, there is a mall and it caught a fire. Of course, we have so many door, main gate and other gates over here. People usually use these different gates to enter and exit. But whenever uncertain event happens, for example, the fire occurred the fire in the mall, so everybody will go towards the exit, which is emergency exit. This is called the herding. When we start following other footprints, when we start making the decision based on other decisions. We never use the information that we have. We never analyze the company, the information that we have. We never use the intuitive feelings that we have right now or the time of making trade and investment. So this is the word herding means. When we never use our opinion. By the way, the herding behavior, the word herding it was invented by one of the Indian, Abhijit Banerjee. And recently he got the Nobel Prize. In 1992, he presented a theory, herding behavior, means following someone's footprints, someone's investment decision, and that one theory bring him a Nobel Prize. Fine. So putting in a nutshell, we have the 5 companies, we have the 5 countries, we have the data of 30,000 plus companies. This is the big deal for me. I use the Python programming to calculate the data, to accumulate this huge data set in just one SQL server. Harmonized method, this means that I have used one yardstick to measure all of the 5 countries in the BRICS. I have used one method to measure the herding exists or not. While making this research, we had one fundamental question: if herding exists, if really herding exists. So where is the herding? Where does the herding exist? How can we locate the herding? This is the phenomena that we need to research. Before starting the research, we knew that herding exists, but where this exists, we are to search, and this is the work of the researcher to validate the theory, to prove the phenomena really does exist by empirical statistical testing. This is the work of a researcher, as I perceive, as my knowledge is perceived. Specifically in China, we found herding a lot. Chinese investors are very prudent, very intelligent. I see in this research, Chinese make a normal decision in normal market. But when they see unusual or uncertainty, they start selling off the trades. They start existing from the market. So they are very prudent and smart investor. While getting my model fit in the BRICS country, I found China one of the fittest country, as they have the herding behavior more. Moving towards the why herding matters, uncertainty. Because this is one of the words that always connect the herding behavior. We keep seeing the equity market if one of you or few of you make investment in the equity market, you just see when market goes up, when market goes down, when I have to invest in the market, when I exit in the market. Usually this is one of the important questions for every investor, because they have huge investment in the market. They are utilizing their capital, specifically the institution where the treasury department is working for the making money. They are keeping their money on the work. So this is one of the phenomena that always trouble the investor, when to enter the market, when to exit the market. This is the little introduction of my research. I was to search out how can I make a contribution to a researcher, to the investor, to the practitioner, to the academicians, by searching and giving a way out that if the market shows the herding, you should not invest, you should take on. So this is, behavior, or I can say behavioral finance, where statistics does not work, where finance does not work. The work is only investor behavior. How do they behave towards a certain event? So previously I said that I found the herding a lot specifically in China, then the Russia. But interesting fact is still behind that. When I done the baseline regression, I just found China has one of the highest herding impact. But when I sensitize the data, when I took the data and clear it up more than the China, so I found that Russia is also having the herding behavior. For example, when I use the baseline regression, I found that China having the herding behavior. But when I use the contour regression, I found that Russia is also having the herding. Herding means the people do not make the decision based on the information. They just keep following the other footprints. Regime crisis and the cross-country design. This is also few of the matters. This research paper is still in the APS 3. I have done the review of this, and most probably if second review passed and perfectly and successfully, this research paper will be in APS 3. Right now it is in under review, and we are just waiting for the comments of the distinguished reviewer. Crisis regime, we have sub-segregated the findings into the regimes. We have the Ukraine-Russia war, we have global financial crisis, we have COVID-19, we have bond crisis. So all the crises are together, where we wanted to see the herding. When we have the crisis, that means uncertainty. How the behavior behave in that uncertainty, that was a question, and we found the people in COVID-19 shows the herding behavior and just willing to exit from the market. These are the theories. As previously I have very keen about to ask that what theory this research will be validating. So these are the three theories. One of the social learning theory, reputational herding and benchmark. Some of the type of theory, but main theory, the primary theory is the herding behavior presented by the Abhijit Banerjee. Social learning theory I can connect while coming towards this hotel. I was just looking at on the map that from where and how can I go to the Novotel hotel. I just see people are going in that bus, in the tram. I just go behind them, start following them without my judgments. I say, okay, fine, all of them are going out over that way, I should be going for it. Reputational theory is all about that I know the facts are what. For example, market is crashing, I know market will be crashing tomorrow. But I have to invest because all of the people are investing. If I do not invest, having a good information, maybe my manager will fire me up, because they know everyone is spending in the market, I am not spending. They will ask me the question why I am not spending, even though I know. But I have to follow. This is the deliberate action. Benchmark, of course, we have some tracker, usually treasury bills, US bonds. We have some investment strategy that we should beat at least a benchmark. For example, if I am making an investment and treasury bill giving me 10% return, and my investment is giving 8% return, so there is no use of making such risky investment. Having a risk, I am investing in less return equity. This should be more than 10% of tracking benchmark. These are my fundamental hypotheses. BRICS equity market exhibits statistical detectable herding means can we detect or not? Stronger in down market and up market. Herding intensified during high volatility. What is the role of volatility in my research? And then time varying. Here I have used the beta approach, ruling window approach. If I change the ruling window, from 1 year to second year to third year, 365 days I have used. And then I wanted to see that how my model works. Herding conclusion and sensitivity, this will be discussing at the end of this presentation because I have very limited time. So now what is the interesting part about my research? The most interesting part is how I collected the data. In this model where we have two models, CSSD, CSAD. Fine, in that model what we need to have to make this herding model, one, we need to have indices data, such as in India we have Sensex, Nifty 50, Nifty 500, in your country South Africa we have some benchmark, in China we have very big number of companies, like I had 10,000 number of companies and the data is on daily basis and I have collected data from 1992 till now. So I have made a robot in Python. Unfortunately I am a graduate of machine learning and also deep learning, artificial intelligence. So I made a program on that and I collected data from this. Like we have FTSE, we have Shanghai Composite, S&P, MOS and one of the Brazilian indices. So we have two things, company data and indices data. So we can make the herding model. 6 empirical family model I have used here. Christine and Hong, they are now Nobel Prize holder by the way. Chang and Khurana. So there is a little difference between CSSD and CSAD. A little difference, but both are being used for herding behavior. In CSAD, the idea is the coefficient of the equation should be negative and positive. If this is negative and positive, that means people are starting following other footprints. So that means herding at this. Similarly, here in CSSD, if I am not wrong, both of the coefficients should be negative, should be in the same direction. This shows the dispersion. So these are the other complementary models which I have used for the robustness analysis to verify my model is validated or not. The model I have presented, is this successfully done or not? So baseline, I have said that in baseline regression I could not find a good result. This is one of the limitation of my research in baseline, because this is the main model. I could not find a good result, but when I tweaked the data, sensitized the data, I found the China and the Russia in the quantile regression having a good results. So China exhibit the most significant herding behavior. Christian CSS TEL model, it was failed in that testing overall. When I use high versus low volatility, I sub-segregated my data into the up and down market, and I saw in the low market people start making unprudent decisions. They just keep following other footprints and getting out from the market. They take out the investment from the equity market and just make irrational decisions. So 28.7% I found like China rolling window model work perfectly, and it has very powerful model presented by Solomon. Of course, robustness analysis without robustness paper is not acceptable in a good reputed journal. So here I have used the Sharp and Linton model, CAPM residual, to confirm the CSAD, because that was my primary model and was the perfect model in my research. Similarly, contradiction based on CSAD, liquidity and Hong Kong beta dispersion model. One more or two more slides I have found this. More China versus Russia. My English is not that perfect enough because I am trying to speak a little bit slow in making the impact of my research. China and Russia were the most impactful countries where the herding is detectable. We can detect the herding in the unusual or uncertain events. So I should come on the fine. These are some of the takeaways to my audience, that when we have the herding, what we should do, how can we control that. So this is in my slide and also in research paper. I guess there is one more. Key limitation, of course, when we submitted this paper to Wiley.
Try to finish.
1 minute.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
So Wiley rejected our paper after 2 revisions, and that was ABS 3. They said the limitation is that you have not tested the spillover. Just because of the spillover, they have rejected our paper. You should have taken the notes that how one market is impacting another market. Just one observation and they rejected our paper after 2 revisions. The same paper. We made correction in that, we made spillover impact in this, we again submitted to the ABC. Thank you so much everyone. I hope
Any question or comment, please?
Please even.